Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I welcome you all to the 796th meeting of Chennai Toastmasters Club. The mission of every Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in such a way that the members are empowered to improve the communication skills and leadership quality, hence resulting in greater personality growth and self-confidence. Before moving to the meeting, I would like to brief upon certain rules which has to be followed. Keep your mobile phones on silent. Do not talk about taboo topics such as sex, caste, politics, and religion. Kindly sit in a silent atmosphere so that you can hear what the speaker is speaking. Kindly be on mute until it's your turn. If it's your turn, please unmute yourself and speak. If you have any message to be shared, please use the chat box below. With this, I hand over the control to our presiding officer, Madam Toastmaster Abhirami, to say a few words about her. She is Vice President Education in our club. She works in She works in a bank called Barclays. She's a chartered accountant by profession. She loves singing Carnatic music and likes to do yoga. Now over to our presiding officer, Madam Toastmaster Abhirami.
Thank you, Toastmaster Taron, for that very warm introduction. Once again, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Firstly, we're all finished with 3 quarters in 2021. Isn't it amazing? Just 1 quarter more. And welcome to the month of October. Now, today, when I was thinking what I should talk about and, did some Googling, I was thinking, Google will throw up things relating to October stuff, which is mainly Gandhi Jayanti. I was thinking about Satyagraha, the salt movement and all. But then Google talked about a great Indian festival. When I was back in school, I knew only 2 festivals or 2 public holidays in October. One was Gandhi Jayanti, which unfortunately came on a Saturday, and the other is Dashera. So what is this great Indian festival? A little more of research showed that this was Amazon's Great Indian Festival sale, and it starts today. Of course, there's also a Flipkart sale on, many sales available, and I think Toastmasters, we all need to take a deep breath before we log into the app, because sometimes you see so many offers, you do not realize what you really want. It's like walking into a buffet wanting to eat a Manchurian, but you end up eating everything other than a Manchurian. So a word of caution, breathe before you open the app. With this, let's jump into today's meeting. Firstly, let me recognize the presence of our distinguished Toastmaster, Nina John. Welcome, ma'am, to the meeting. And also all the guests. We have a few guests. Welcome guests Vasant, Rose, and Joseph. We would like to hear from you towards the end of the meeting. Stay with us. And now quickly jumping into the meeting. So today's meeting is going to be orchestrated by one of our senior Toastmasters, or a distinguished Toastmaster, who has donned many hats in the club. Now, she is an author, an executive coach, a professional speaker, and talking about her achievements with the club, she is a charter member of CTM, and CTM is the first club in Tamil Nadu. She is a past district governor and also the mentor pool chair of District 120. Yes, she is the mentor of all mentors and rightly the chair. One thing that I observe is that she's a very graceful person. When she's on screen, there's a lot of grace and shine. Hoping for a scintillating meeting today. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Nina John. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abhirami, for that wonderful introduction. And a very warm welcome to all those who are here today. It's Sunday, it's fun day. It is time for the Chennai Toastmasters meeting. This has been going on for so long. This is now our 796th meeting, and we've been having fun through the years. As all those who are here as senior members can tell you, and those who are here as junior members, it is mandatory that when you leave a Toastmasters meeting, especially CTM, you have to have a smile on your face, and you have to have something to think about for the whole week. So we have this combination of fun, entertainment, and what I call edutainment, because Toastmasters is primarily an educational organization meant, as our Sergeant at Arms said, for empowering the individuals to reach their full potential. So how do we do that? We have over 15,000 clubs across the world, and every one of the clubs follows exactly the same structure. Prepared speeches, evaluations, and table topics. Pretty much in that order. It's up to the clubs to decide whether they want prepared speeches and evaluations and then table topics, or table topics, prepared speeches, evaluations, or prepared speeches, table topics, then evaluations. So within this structure, we have a lot of flexibility, and that's how our organization runs, because there is creativity, there is innovation in all of these things. So to ensure that our meeting runs well, we have different role players with different responsibilities. Before going any further, let me hand you over to somebody who is going to be checking the quality of our meeting. Our general evaluator today is Toastmaster Naveen Raj, who's one of those people who crept into Toastmasters without opening his mouth and didn't open his mouth for a very long time. The only time he does that is when he delivers speeches, but then he's a hardware engineer, so all he knows is how to work on hardware and applications and all of those things. But as a back office background person, he's been doing a fabulous job telling all of us, appointing people almost as a VP education associate. He's been doing a fabulous job tying up roles, tying up people for roles, and ensuring that every meeting runs smoothly and effortlessly. He's going to check our quality today, as I said. So let me introduce you to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Naveen Raj. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, DTM Nina Janman. Evaluation is a process of making value judgments over a level of performance or achievement. It is concerned not only with the appraisal of achievement, but also with its improvements. I am going to evaluate the overall meeting and prepared speeches and overall the proceedings of the meeting. For my evaluation, I have two sets of teams. First team stands for tag team. T stands for timer, A stands for accounter, and G for grammarian. Today's timer is our Toastmaster Rahul. He is a site reliability engineer at Furlandsco. His hobbies including reading books and playing football. Timer Toastmaster Rahul, please read your timer objectives.
Thank you for the kind introduction, Toastmaster Naveen. I'll start with a quote first. Once you have mastered time, you'll understand how true it is that most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. This quote was given by Tony Robbins. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. For example, if the allotted time is 5 to 7 minutes, then at the minimum of 5 minutes, I will raise a green card. At the immediate minute of 6 minutes, I will raise a yellow card. And at the 7th minute, I will raise a red card. An additional grace time of 30 seconds will be given, after which I will raise a time up card and the speaker will be considered disqualified. Also, I will make note of the time taken by each speaker and submit my report towards the end of the meeting when called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Naveen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Next, accounter. Our accounter is Toastmaster Abhishek. He is a lawyer by profession, specializing in litigation and trial advocacy. Toastmaster Abhishek, please read your accounter's objectives. Please unmute yourself, Toastmaster Abhishek.
Thank you, Naveen Raj, Toastmaster Naveen Raj, for such a warm introduction. Greetings, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and yes, this is my first speech and first complete participation in Toastmasters meetings. And I have been given this opportunity of being the accounter. rather redundant because I am a sufferer of this R's and N's, but maybe I'll not be as angry, or you'll know, I'll not make you as angry as I felt towards those who pointed out my R's and N's to me. So, greetings, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of All-Rounder is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause fillers by the one who speaks. During the meeting, I'll listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and, and I will also listen for filler sounds, including and those sorts. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase, such as I, and this means at the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. And next, G for grammarian. Our Toastmaster Abhirami. She is a chartered accountant by profession and working as a control testing at Barclays. Our current Vice President Education. Toastmaster Abhirami, please, grammarian speech objectives.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Naveen. Grammar is like rhythm in music, and I'm here to check the rhythm in all your music today. As a grammarian, I have 4 responsibilities today. First, I'll be taking note of all the good usages, and I'll be giving a report towards the end of the meeting. Now, when I say good usages can be fine vocabulary where when I listen to it for the first time, I've heard it and I don't understand and I Google and try to, tell you all what it means. That's fine vocabulary. It can be quotes, or it can be a phrase or the way you played with words. And second, I will also be making note of not so good usages, because there is always room for improvement. And I'll be indicating what would be the better way to use those words. Third is to introduce the word of the day. Now, the word of the day is influencer. So any guesses on what the word influencer means? Anyone? Would you like to try? In case, even if you looked up at the agenda, what does an influencer mean?
Someone who influences you in anything, your way of work.
Yes, exactly, Toastmaster Kartika. Influencer is someone who affects or changes the way that other people behave. Now, for a usage, now let me give an example, and I'll recommend someone to come forward and give a counter example. So the usage here is a true leader is an inspiring influencer. So anyone want to try using the word even before we start? Distinguished Toastmaster Nina John, please do the honors.
Okay, influencer is a word that is now all over the internet, because we've got TikTok, people on TikTok, we've got people on Twitter, we've got people all over who are saying, look at me, see how great I am, and a few million followers for all of those things, whether they have challenges where you pour ice water over yourself, or you can have a rice bucket challenge, all kinds of things. So influencers are people who can influence you towards doing something good, or you can do something absolutely foolish. And Mahatma Gandhi was the original social media influencer without social media. So back to you, Abhirami, on influencer.
Bang on, bang on. It is amazing. So now getting back to my responsibility, which is the 4th one, is to make note of how many of us use this word influencer in today's meeting. So get ready, gear up, use the word influencer and influence the other Toastmasters in the club. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Naveen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhirami. As I am said, I have a 2 set of teams. I introduce now tag team. I will introduce my another set of evaluation team at later part of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Nina John.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naveen. Every club has the flexibility to introduce different things that they would like to. And in Chennai Toastmasters, we've had experiments with quote of the day, thought of the day, joke master of the day. Today we have two different things. One is the quote master of the day, for whom we have our Toastmaster, Madam Ashwini. She is a prosthodontist. And if you don't know what a prosthodontist is, remember, if you have a fake smile, she will fix it for you. But she's got this wonderful smile, and she's going to give us the quote of the day without any prosthodontistry. So go ahead. I don't know if that's a word, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you, DTM Nina John, for the introduction. You know what happened this morning? My 9-year-old nephew came and asked me, Auntie, what are you doing on a Sunday morning? I told him, Kanna, I'm preparing a quote for the meeting for this evening. Okay, he asked me, can I have a look, Auntie? Yes. So I showed him my screen and it read like this. True leadership lies in guiding others to success, in ensuring that everyone is performing at their best, doing the work they are pledged to do, and doing it very well. He was like, it's quite too long. I don't understand. Can you explain to me simply, in simple terms? So like I told, here I go, Kanna. Can you see a group of people here? Yeah, I see many faces in Zoom meeting. So what do you all do? Kanna, all of us, you know what? We meet each other on a Sunday evening at 4 p.m. And we kind of help each other in doing our part and also help each other in doing their best. We organize and conduct meetings. We give constructive feedback to speakers. We act as influencers in giving public speaking, and we empower each other to accomplish our goal. So we, all of us present here, ensure that everyone is performing at their best, doing the work they are pledged to do, and doing it well. In Toastmasters, we learn to lead. We empower others and we empower ourselves. Wouldn't you agree with me, DTM Nina John? Over to you.
Absolutely.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Absolutely, Madam Toastmaster Ashwini. That was Toastmasters shrink wrapped into 1 minute, into a 1 minute elevator pitch. Thank you so much. And that's really definition of an influencer in so many different ways. We move on now to our idiom master, who is a fresh new entrant to our club. She's Karthika. She's a chartered accountant, one of the many chartered accountants that CTM has. She works at Apollo Hospital, and her hobbies are trading in stocks, which again is a hobby that a lot of people in our club share, and watching Mallu movies. So over to Mallu, Madam Toastmaster, Idiom Master Karthika.
Thank you for the warm introduction, DTM Nina John. I will share my screen. Can you see my screen, everyone? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So the idiom of the day for today is changing of the guard. So it means a change of leadership at an organization. Example, there was an uproar over the change of guard when Kerala CTM announced that they would drop KK Shailaja from the second Pinarayi Vijayan ministry to be sworn in. KK Shailaja had acquired international fame as a health minister and became the face of the government on handling COVID-19 and the Nipah outbreak. Her exclusion made many compare it with the CPM leadership's infamous putting down of KR Gauri and Sushila Gopalan, arguably the two most popular women leaders. Thank you. This was the idiom of the day. Over to you, TTM Nina John.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster Karthika. That was amazing. And that's just the kind of thing that, that's after my heart, this very feminist take on why there was a change of guard and who are the influencers who would insisted on that happening. Because Shailaja teacher has been a great influencer with her medical handling of the entire COVID emergency and throughout. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to what we call the prepared speeches section. Now, when we talk of influencers, we have Mahatma Gandhi, we have Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, we have John F. Kennedy, we have Abraham Lincoln, we have Obama, all of them famous for their speeches. What we also need to remember is that every one of them practiced those speeches several times. Not table topics, not walking into a club meeting and saying something off the hook. They researched what they had to say. They understood what the objective was, and they had a purpose for their speeches. They wanted a specific objective, a specific action to be taken by the audience or the nation or whatever it was. So they were clear about their objectives. They were clear about their audience. They were clear about what they were doing. So we move on now to our prepared speech segment, where we have 3 different speakers providing 3 different speeches. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan, who's a bureaucrat with the Indian Railways. He is also a spiritual aspirant, and he will tell us something about himself. First, I will request his evaluator, Toastmaster Abhilash, to read out his project and objectives.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Nina John. A very warm good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. My target speaker for the day, Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan, is delivering his Level 1 Project 2 from the path Persuasive Influence. The purpose of this particular project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. In this particular speech, Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan will be presenting a speech and will be receiving feedback. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Nina John.
Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan, Pathways Persuasive Influence, Level 1, Project 2, Evaluation and Feedback. Toastmaster Kuttikrishnan.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Nina John. Thank you one and all for being with CTM this afternoon for this wonderful meeting that we are having for you. I would like to share with you this afternoon a couple of life lessons that I have been practicing in my life. And the reason that I have been practicing is practically because of the influence that had on me from reading a couple of books, one being titled Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor J. Frankl and Erroneous Zone by Wayne J. Dyer. Absolutely amazing books. I would definitely recommend you to read those books, and a few of those lessons that I've learned from those books I've been practically implementing in my life, and I've seen a tremendous impact in the way I look forward in my life, the way I handle situations, and the way I move forward without any point of regret in my life. Everything for me happens with a purpose. I truly believe in what he says. Wayne Dyer says, everything starts and ends with a purpose. There is absolutely no accident in this world. We are here as a divine being on a purpose, and we execute each and every action that we do with a purpose. The first and the foremost thing that I would like to share with you, the first lesson that I've learned is the way that you look at things, the things that you look at literally changes. Albert Einstein once remarked, the most fundamental and the basic question that you need to ask in your life is, do we live in a hostile or a friendly universe? Is this a universe where we fight with each other, have anger, have any kind of resentment, have most disgusting way of addressing people, being with people, and also finding fault with people? Do we live in that world, or do we live in a world where it is filled with love, humility, and also respecting one another? Because the way you look at things is what you get in your life. If you change the way you look at things, it is definitely going to change the outlook of your life also. This is one important principle that I have been following. If you look at things in the positive, if you look at things in the most advanced way of seeing things how it has to be, then things definitely change for the better. The second and the most important lesson that I have always remembered is, as you think, so shall you become. 7 key little words that have changed my life forever, because I always believe whatever action that you take in your life always begins with a thought. And the thought that you have is what is going to manifest into the action that you would be doing in your life. So you have to be really careful what kind of a thought that you have in your mind. You don't want to have a negative thought, because what you think expands and it starts manifesting. If you have a negative thought, if you have a negative outlook of your life, that is what is going to manifest in your life. And you are very clear about it that you don't want such things to happen in your life where negativity creeps in every day in your life. So be very careful of what you put in your mind, because your mind is a very fertile ground. It is absolutely like a crystal which doesn't take any color, but it takes the color of the object to which it is placed next to. If you run around with losers, you end up being a loser. If you have a negative attitude, you always end up being negative in your life. So you be very mindful of your thoughts, because that is where the manifestation and all the good things that you want to happen and manifest in your life is going to start from your thoughts. So be very careful of the thoughts that you have. Never have a negative thought. Believe me, the negative thought is the beginning of the word that I call as cancer. The cancer of your mind starts with the negative thought that you have in your mind. It begins there and it manifests. Science has proven, medical science has proven, your negative thoughts could be a trigger to have a physical cancer in your life. So if you have that negative thought, not only you're ruining your health, but you're ruining your well-being also. The next important thing that I would like to share with you, my dear friends, is don't die with your dreams still in you. Each and every one of us are here on purpose. We are not here by accident. Everything happens with purpose, and each of us are blessed with a gift that is being given to each of us. And it is our duty to bring out that gift into this world. You are the vessel through which the universe has to give to this world something which is very important. In Leo Tolstoy's famous novel, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, he says that it is very difficult to think of the question when you come to the end of your life, lying on your deathbed, and then contemplating the terror and horror of this question. What if my entire life has been wrong? What each of our life, when we come to the point where we are going to check out from this world and realize we have not even cranked the edges of the life that we wanted to live. So there are different types of dreams that each one of you are having. The book that you wanted to write, the business that you wanted to start, the song that you wanted to sing, whatever it is, there is a dream in each and every one of us. I remember a great philosopher, his name is Blaise Pascal, French philosopher and a scholar, 17th century. He said, the wealthiest place on this planet is not where you find the gold under the ground or the oil. The wealthiest place is not where you find diamonds in South Africa. The wealthiest place on this planet is the graveyard. It is this place where most of us don't manifest, don't work on our dreams and ambitions, don't bring out the talent in us, but we carry that with us to the graveyard. Being on a deathbed, imagine that each one of us, when we are going to check out, you have your people standing around. The happiest people would be the people who are going to leave this world, bringing out the talent, giving back to the society what they're supposed to give. So please remember, you have to give back to the society what you have taken. And it is the duty of each and every one of us that we give back. We have taken enough. It is not our own making that what we are today. It is because of so many forces that have acted with us to make what we are. Give back and never check out of this life with the music still in you. Don't die with the music still in you. Thank you very much. Back to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Nina John.
Toastmaster, that was an example of leaders who read. Remember that there's another quote that I have which says, leaders are readers. And the more you can read, the more you develop yourself. Those are some of the things that Gandhiji also said. Be the change you want to be in control, and do it yourself. Don't expect other people to change you. We move on now to our second speaker, who is Toastmaster Taron. Toastmaster Taron is our current Sergeant at Arms. He also joined Toastmasters and is one of our enthusiastic members, very available, always ready to do whatever is required. Even stepping up to be the Sergeant at Arms is one of the things that he has done. He has an amazing talent for drawing. You can see some of his drawings as his backdrop. He's a great cyclist. And today he's going to speak. His topic is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Mughal. So may I request Madam Toastmaster Mughal to tell us about Taron and his objectives. Madam.
Thank you, DTM, Nina John. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, my target speaker, TM Tarun, will be presenting his Project 1 under Level 2, Understanding Your Leadership Style. The purpose of the project is to help the member understand his primary leadership style or styles. And the purpose of the speech is for the member to share something about his primary leadership style or leadership styles in general. So all the best, Toastmaster Tarun. Back to you, DTM.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mughal. Toastmaster Taron, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Nina John, for the great welcome. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. How many of you believe that leadership is something that can be learned and excelled at? Anyone? Okay. I also believe that it is a skill that can be learned because it is a skill which has several skills buried in it. Let's examine how many abilities a leader requires. I will name it. Listening, patience, purposeful guidance, creativity, moral values, effective communication, fairness, goodwill, a sense of equity among colleagues, and so on. It goes. And remember, the very important skill is vision, because it allows us to keep moving forward and overcome all the obstacles. Little setbacks and obstacles will appear insignificant if a leader has a strong vision. Okay, how many of you have a leader in your life as role model? I have, and my influencers are Indra Nooyi and Bill Gates. In January 2021, I joined Toastmasters with the goal of improving my communication skills and leadership quality. I finished the first level after 6 months. I came to second level after finishing the first level. Of course, we come to second level. Where in second level, I need to find my leadership style and improve it. I went over a lot of questions and I answered it. In the last page, it showed many leadership styles. I was surprised. It was the first time I saw it. There were 8 of them. To name it: coaching, democratic, affiliative, altruistic, authoritative, bureaucratic, innovative, and pace setting. I received the most points for the democratic type of leadership. Do you know, Indra Nooyi is also a democratic leader. I came to know this after reading the objectives of democratic leader. But the one thing which came to my mind after reading about the democratic leadership style was a music concert which I went long back. It can seem like a strange place to find a leadership lesson, but bands are a great example of a democratic leadership can work for you, where a democratic leadership can work for you. Typically, it consists of at least 10 musicians playing different types of instruments. A concert band is often operated by a conductor or a band leader who's responsible for bringing together different sounds and harmonic performances into one cohesive production, just like a startup. However, what makes concerts fully democratic is that within the framework of the music, each musician, at certain point, democratic leader allows the staff to contribute while also allowing them to show the creativeness and their thoughts and ideas. The band's example also highlights the difficulty of keeping things on track and of a democratic leader. Since there are different sounds coming out of the instruments and the band, it takes a tremendous amount of coordination and collaboration to create the pleasing sound which you can hear in your ear. After some time, I somewhat related it to my life. One of them is that I enjoy making decisions. We own a catering business. There came a situation where we need to hire some workers for packing. We had to put advertisement in the newspaper. Many calls came, but no one was willing to come. I evaluated it and I saw the reason. No one is willing to work for 4 or 5 hours a day for a low salary of 4,000 or 5,000 bucks. So I suggested my father that why don't we call our delivery persons or partners a little bit earlier to come here, and we'll give them an extra 500 rupees if they help us in packing the food. It will be more beneficial for them and us. Now we executed the idea. Now the packing department is working to the fullest. The next situation which came to my mind is my 11th standard. When I was in school, they introduced a competition among the 11th standard section. There are a group of teachers. I think there were 10. Yeah. They come to each and every class every day and inspect in terms of cleanliness and behavior, and even our studies. They even evaluate our scores, which we score in our exams. After every month, at the end of the month, they'll give a report on it, and they would give a rolling trophy to the best class which has performed. The class which gets more times of rolling trophy in a year would consider the best class of the year, and our names would come to the name board, which is opposite to the principal's room. At the time I was a class representative, and I had 2 boys to help me, one for cleanliness and for other for studies. I noticed every other class is keeping a studious guy for helping other students to study, but not in my case. I gave everyone the chance to help others and help me too, because I believe that even a student who's weak at studies can learn faster or perform better if he teaches the other one. I motivated them to do the role. I also discussed with them to bring new ideas and ideas to avoid unnecessary waste materials, and to bring new ideas on studies. How can we study? And after a year, we got the best class award of the year. We were all very happy for our hard work. Now that I have discussed and discovered my type of leadership style, it will be more interesting for me to work on my skills and improve it. Guess Toastmasters is a place where you can find out yours and improve it. After I figure out my style, I see myself as the next CEO of the multinational company. Who knows, I might be the next one if I develop these skills. What do you think, Madam Toastmaster Nina John?
I absolutely agree with you, Toastmaster Taron. Go ahead, be the CEO of your dreams and be the CEO of a multinational company. Set it up and we'll all be there. We'll buy your products at least, even if we don't actually work for you. So thank you for all those wonderful ideas on leadership, on delegation, on rotating responsibilities amongst everyone and not just studious people do studious things and non-studious people do non-studious things. So great ideas for everyone. Thank you, sir. Our third speaker, Toastmaster Vignesh, has been an avid contributor to this club, taking up roles as Toastmaster of the Day and some very innovative table topics. He's been providing us some very creative and innovative ideas. He's going to speak from the Pathways Presentation Mastery, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. Over to you, sir, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana.
Thank you, Nina John. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Toastmaster Vignesh is going to deliver its level 1 project in Pathways Presentation Mastery. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research method and present a well-organized and well-researched speech on the topic. I wish Toastmaster Vignesh all the best. Over to you, Idiom.
Toastmaster Vignesh.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster, for a warm introduction. And good evening, every Toastmasters and guests who are all nervous to speak in table topics because of lack of vocabulary. Good. Okay. I nervous to speak in table topics because of lack of vocabulary. Most of the time, I describe something in the same way again and again in an ordinary way. So whoever listens me conclude me as a broken tape recorder. It leads breakdown in communication and it turns into a fiasco. Keith Foltz, a professor of TESOL, said that learning a language involves learning numerous aspects of that language. That includes pronunciation, pragmatics, writing system, and syntax, and the culture of that language. However, the topmost aspect is vocabulary. Even without grammar, very little message can be conveyed. But without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. Also, researchers said that second language readers heavily depends on vocabulary knowledge, and the lack of vocabulary knowledge is the largest obstacle for the second language readers to overcome. So I started to improve my vocabulary for a scintillating communication. To help out learn the vocabulary, let me tell you 4 major methods, which are metacognitive strategy, cognitive strategy, and memory strategy, activation strategy. The metacognitive strategy comprises of selective attention and self-initiation strategy. It means implies which words are important to learn and essential for adequate comprehension of a passage. Example is if an engineer giving attention to engineering related jargons and using it subconsciously. The cognitive strategy is guessing strategy. So it means it includes skillful usage of dictionary and note-taking strategies. So with this background knowledge, we assume the meaning when we see in the context. So example is if we watch movies, we will be assuming some unknown words when we are in the track of the scene. Third one is the memory strategy. So here it is involves a rehearsal and encoding strategy. So which words are listed and repetitively looking into the words and remembering the meaning of the words. So the example is flashcard method. So word will be written on the cards and we see the cards often and remember the meaning of the words. And finally is the activation strategy. It includes those above strategies through which the learners actually use the new word into different context. For instance, learners may set up a sentence using the words they have just learned. This is the most effective method. Also, research proves that learning from this method lasts longer than any other method. This is the most rememberable method, and this is what we do in Toastmasters every meeting. The grammarian is the influencer of this method who requested to other members to use this method. So if you ask what is it in for me, there are some facts. Let me share you. The size of the child's vocabulary in kindergarten predicts the ability to learn to read. And the human engineering laboratory found that only common characteristics on the successful people is their unusual grasp of the meaning of the words. And the laboratory reveals that the people who got highest salary has highest score in the vocabulary. And so words are the instruments by which means men and women grasp the thoughts of the others, and with which they do much of their own thinking. And finally, educational research has discovered that your IQ is intimately related to your vocabulary. Also, researchers said that constantly improving our vocabulary result in less memory loss and fewer cognitive disorders like Alzheimer and dementia. After I came to know these facts, I kickstarted learning new words with alacrity. I made a habit of reading books and solving crossword puzzles, and actively using word of the day influencer, and also in every meeting use the word of the day. Hope these facts influence you to use the word of the day and sound smarter in public speaking. Thank you. Back to Madam Toastmaster Neena John.
Thank you, Vignesh, Toastmaster Vignesh. That was not just sounding smart, that was an entire PhD thesis shrink wrapped into 5 minutes. We know all about metacognitive learning and how vocabulary improves your life. There's another quotation which says, the limits of your language are the limits of your world. So the more you limit yourself to one language, one community, one set of things, you are limiting yourself. Open yourself up to more languages, more experiences, and you will be much, much more experienced, and you will have so much more to contribute to the world. Thank you so much to all our prepared speakers, each of which did a fabulous job in their particular domains. We move on now to that section called table topic section. Now, when we're talking about different influencers, there are stories about famous people, some of which, one of my favorites, and I'm sure some of you may have heard this before, was Winston Churchill, who was the Prime Minister of Great Britain during the World War. So he was constantly fighting with this lady, Nancy Astor, who was an American married to a British person, but she was in the British Parliament. So she was so annoyed with him one day that she said, you know, Winston, if you were my husband, I would poison your coffee. And Winston Churchill replied, believe me, lady, believe me, ma'am, if you were my wife, I would drink that coffee. So this ability to come back with a quick answer, right answer, apt answer at the right time. Not when you've gone home and gone to sleep and said, oh, I should have said that to that guy, or I should have said that to my manager. That building up that ability is what table topics is all about. So think of it as your secret weapon to face the world. And let me hand you over to our Toastmaster, Table Topics Master of the Day, Madam Geeta Shroff, who describes herself as a very vanilla homemaker in her biodata. But believe me, she's a woman of many talents, has been organizing several social events, has been doing a lot of work in terms of teaching, tutoring other people, and is a very fervent believer in self-development and reading as many subjects as possible, each of which she does in terms of presenting to the club during her speeches. So over to you, Madam Toastmaster Geeta Shroff.
Thank you so much, DTM Neena. Thank you so much, DTM Neena John, for such a wonderful introduction. I'm really flattered. Thanks once again. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the table topic session. I'm sure you all must be getting good goosebumps because I have very few people who have volunteered their names, though we have around 27 participants here. So I welcome you all to participate in this table topic session. To tell you all, for the benefit of the guests, this session, you'll be given a table topic on the spot, and you will need to come out with your ideas and with your points, and you will be given a time limit of 2 to 3 minutes. And yes, so within that stipulated time, you need to come out with whatever you need to say. And trust me, it really helps boost your confidence levels. Yes. So here I start the table topic session. Let me start with a very famous quote, Gandhian quote, which I really love. So for this, I invite our Toastmaster Abhilash. Toastmaster Abhilash, can I have you on the stage?
Yes, Toastmaster
Yes.
Geeta.
So Toastmasters Abhilash, to start off with a Gandhian quote, this is one of my favorite quotes. Let me see if you can throw light on this. The quote goes like this: happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster Geeta. When you did say you were to start off a Gandhian quote, and with me, I was kind of jittery inside, because so Gandhiji's birthday was yesterday, October 2nd, and my birthday is tomorrow, October 4th. Other than that one simple thing that we share our birthdays month, October, there is nothing common between me and Gandhi. So I was indeed kind of panicky when you gave me this particular quote. But yes, Toastmaster Geeta, all of us have would have surely heard of this particular line, whatever is inside only reflects on the outside. So bringing that quote in here to, suit, to your particular Gandhian quote, I would say I agree. So happiness is what we say. Happiness, what we think, what we say should match. I agree with that, because inside our minds, if we are going to be happy, that is going to reflect outside. Our eyes and our mouth are the face of our brain to the world, they say, and that's not without much what do I say, lack of evidence. See, whatever is reflected in our eyes is going to come from inside, and when we speak that outside, that is what it is. So today I remember one particular example. So DTM Nina John, when she started off, she told me, why is your voice so sad? Believe me, I was kind of having a little bit of a headache, and that is what was reflected out from my particular voice tone for today. So I agree, when whatever is say inside comes out, that is what happens. And to end, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, I remember he said that smile compensates for everything. So looking at her quick wit, I also laughed, and I was happy. What was inside again came out. I believe that is what is this quote. Back to you, table topic master.
Beautifully said, Toastmaster Abhilash. That was really wonderful of you. So when you squeeze an orange, what comes out is the orange juice. So that's exactly what you're saying. Whatever is inside you reflects from the outside. Thank you so much. So we move on to the next topic. Here I invite our Toastmaster Vijay Aditya. Are you available?
Yes, I'll attempt it.
Yes. So here's another quote for you. Mind can make a heaven out of hell or hell out of heaven.
Yeah, the quote, mind can make heaven out of hell or hell out of heaven. It just shows that how we see things and how we perceive the things around us. It's just a matter of our own perspective and how we see things around us. So if there's like something negative that is happening in our life, if we see it in like a positive direction, we might be able to take it easily and can make the best of it. And same goes the other way. If there's like a positive thing happens to us, but if we only think negative things, the positive thing will also will not impact us that much. So we have to think positively to feel good and make every bad situations in our favor, and also to take things lightly and in a positive way to feel good, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vijay Aditya. That was a really wonderful try from your side. So this is exactly what we heard from this experienced Toastmaster Shrikant's speech. So whatever you think, you invite that. So when we think positive, we will invite all good things. And when we think negative, we will only invite everything that is not good for us. Moving on. So we have another volunteer here, Toastmaster Vishnu Kumar, who is also volunteered for the table topic session. Could we have you, please, Toastmaster Vishnu Kumar?
Yes, Toastmaster Geeta.
Yes, Toastmaster. So the topic for you is knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. Could you please try on that?
Sure. So the quote, knowledge is in power, the applied knowledge, applying knowledge is the actual power. It actually takes me back to the college life and to the school life, where when we think about the college and school life, it is always like based upon the ranking system and the way we study and the right. I mean, it's just many people, the first rank holders are the top 10 or 5 rank holders. They just mug up and write it on the paper, get some mark, and they always make the most of the notice boards, and they become the favorable people of the schools and colleges. But I wasn't one of those kind of people. But when I came out of the college or at the final years of the college, I started realizing the actual scenario of the world. What is the actual thing that's needed in the world? So the scores or the marks that we need are desired for in the schools or colleges never matters unless until you actually apply it in your let it be whether it in your life or your work or your job, whatever it is. So whatever you study may not be useful by that at that particular instant of time, but will surely be useful in future or in your maybe to your friend, or the knowledge is until it is within you, it is not going to make any sense to you or to others. You just have to start applying it, either physics, chemistry, maths, or even social skills, whatever it is. Start applying it. You will see you'll start seeing the world in a different way, and it will just make wonders. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Geeta.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vishnu Kumar. That was a really wonderful try, wonderful take on the topic. So dear fellow Toastmasters, what Toastmaster Vishnu Kumar is trying telling us is it's not sufficient if we have all the bookish knowledge. What is more important is you should know to apply, and like how to distinguished Toastmaster Nina John said coming out with the right answer at the right moment is very important than going back at home and thinking in the night that I should have said like this, or I would have said like this, or I would have spoken like this. So that's not really going to help. We should know to apply our knowledge at the right time, at the right place. Thank you so much. So with this now, I think I should be inviting the guests. We have a guest volunteer here. I welcome guest Santosh. Are you available, guest Santosh? Thanks for volunteering.
Is it Santosh?
Santosh. Oh yeah, it's Santoshi.
Okay.
Yeah. So welcome. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Welcome. So it's nice to have you in our CTM meeting. The topic for you is easy is not an option. Easy is not an option.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for giving this opportunity. And to elucidate on this topic, easy is not an option is whenever we want to try and achieve something that we actually like, it is not always easy. And easy is something that varies depending on each person's capabilities and their own perception. Like, for example, we may be capable, and but we just perceive that, we aren't that very capable, and it is our own limitations that are within our mind. that stops us. So when that's not an option, when you don't have the option, let me not just do it today, let me do it tomorrow, or let me let go of this opportunity. If that is not even an option, you would be surprised at the amount of effort you are willing to put in to actually get that thing done. And a lot of the times, your initial growth happens when you're not in your comfort zone and you actually push it. And when you're not in your comfort zone, it's definitely not going to be easy. And it does not matter however smart you are, however talented you are, whenever it is out of your comfort zone. And the comfort zone varies depending on different people's capabilities. And when you are out of your own comfort zone, it's not going to be easy for you. But only when you are out of it, do you push yourself and learn something in the process. And I believe that everyone should keep that as an option, and they should keep pushing themselves out of their own comfort zone. And easy shouldn't be an option there. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Santoshi. That was really good. So friends, we had Toastmaster Vishnu Kumar, who said that knowledge is not sufficient. We should know to apply knowledge at the right time. And then we have our guest Santoshi, who's telling us that it is not sufficient. You know to apply the knowledge that you have. It is more important that you push yourself to out of your comfort zone so that you achieve greater success in your life. Moving on, I still invite another guest. Is somebody willing to volunteer? Guess?
Yeah, I would like to volunteer. I would like to give it a go.
Pardon me, did I hear something?
Yes, I would like to give it a go. I would like to try on people.
So that is guest Vasant.
Yes, correct.
Yes, welcome guest Vasant. Welcome to the table topic session. So the topic for you is, if you don't program yourself, life will program you. If you don't program yourself, life will program you.
Life will program you.
Could you be a little louder, please?
To me, it tells that fail to plan, but am I not audible?
Yes, you're audible now. Yes.
You're all right. If you don't control, if you don't, can you say again? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Should I come with the topic again?
Yeah, sorry, I missed it.
Yeah. If you don't program yourself, life will program you.
Yeah, if we don't program ourselves, life will program us. To me, it tells that we always have to have a plan. If we don't have a plan in place, then we may not, able to achieve whatever that we want to achieve. For instance, how it will be programmed in case we do not program ourselves is, we need to have a plan of actions in place. Otherwise, we just go by whatever that comes in a way instead of going and getting what we really want to get or achieve. So, that's my take on this one.
Thank you very much, guest Vasant. That was a wonderful try from your side. So you're telling us that we should be vigilant enough and program our life ourselves instead of waiting for others to program for us. I still thank you so much once again for participating in the table topic session. Moving on, I still invite another guest. Is somebody willing to take guest Rose?
Hi.
Yeah,
good evening.
hi,
I think I'll give it a go.
Yes. Welcome guest Khadri Sayed. Yeah.
Yes.
This is a small request from my side. Would it be possible for you to switch on your video?
That was my first topic which I want to speak about. Very, very sorry because I didn't know the actual guidelines and the ground rules of today's meeting. So was not aware that you have to switch on your camera and be a part in this today's topic. See, I'm outside right now and I'm trying my best to attend this meeting.
No problem. You're welcome.
I think you have understood my situation now. No thank
problem.
you.
Welcome to the table topic session. Nice to have you with us. So the topic
pleasure
for you.
My pleasure is mine. Yes.
Thank you so much. So the topic for you is it more important to do what you love or to love what you do?
Okay. That seems like a debatable topic for me, but still I'll give my best shot over here. One more time the topic, please.
Yeah. Is it more important to do what you love or to love what you do?
Okay. All right. Simple. So this I can share it with my real-time example itself. All right. So I'm a person who always runs behind passion, and I'm very much addicted to sports, and I'm very much addicted to, I always from the young age itself, I used to rush. All right. So when I find any process is getting too monotonous, I always try to change it and always think that, this is not what I'm meant to do. I have to find something which is more advanced, which will always keep me going ahead over and over time. So until my young age, whenever I wasn't ready to face the reality. So that kind of characteristics was, somewhat okay for me to, switch for whatever I was doing and to switch in whatever I want to do. So I always wanted to do something which I love, and I kept moving forward ahead and ahead. So this particular sector of my life helped me until unless I faced reality. All right. Now, the second phase, when I saw the reality, all right, it's not mandatory that every people in this world will always find what they love to do. That's the biggest myth. Everybody, including, speakers in YouTube or speakers in Instagram, the gurus out there, they tend to motivate you all the time saying that you have to love what you do or always run behind passion. It's not always work in the real world situation. I wouldn't say it was a harsh lesson, but I learned this lesson while facing the actual world scenarios. All right. So whenever you're doing something, it takes time to fall in love with it. It takes time to fall in love with what you're doing. It takes time, and it takes time to love in the process that you're doing. Because apart from all the results you see later, what is going to keep you? The one thing which is going to keep you going is something which when you fall in love with your process, right? Which is when you fall in love with your hardships, and that is the real guarantee of success which it provides you in the later stages as well. So this is that second phase of sector that I learned in my life. To give a fair answer right now to the question which you asked me, to go behind and do what you love to do, or to gradually do what you love. So for this, my answer is, guys, whoever is hearing me right now, all right, find the purpose or find the core reason for what you're doing certain things in your life right now. Let's take a live example right now, Toastmasters. All right, so we are all here to become a leaders, and we are all here to sharpen our communication skills. All right, so maybe we might be actually scared of speaking in front of people, or we might also lack the leadership quality in us, but that's completely fine. Now, this is where you are trying to improvise yourself as a new leaf, as a new person.
Totally got it. Absolutely fine. Yes, Syed, that was wonderful on your part. So what you were trying to tell us is, I totally agree with what you were trying to tell us. Like, it's not necessary that all the time you will get everything that you love to do. Gradually,
Right.
It's important for us to fall in love with what we are doing. So that was beautifully taken. Thank you so
Simple
much.
As that, yeah.
Sorry for
Pleasure,
interrupting you. That was because of lack of time.
No, that's okay. I completely understand. Anyways, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Cheers.
Thank you so much. I now invite Toastmaster Abhirami. Are you willing to take a topic?
Yes, sure, Toastmaster Geeta.
Yeah, welcome, Toastmaster Abhirami. Nice to see you. So the topic for you is, all great speakers were bad speakers first.
Great. All great speakers were bad speakers, or probably very scared speakers at first. This is something that every Toastmaster out here would have experienced on the first day, or even days after. Every time you speak, you feel like a scared speaker or a bad speaker. And then once you get with the flow and rhythm, then you feel all good about yourself. Now, it's not just speaking. Anything in life, when we try it for the first time, we may not be up to the mark as a seasoned person in that field. And that applies to speaking as well. So I think it's very important that we all set up very appropriate and realistic expectations on whatever we work on. And we also should give priority to enjoy whatever we do, rather than to judge or conclude whether it is bad or good. In that way, for me, speaking at CTM on the very first day as a guest, just like all the guests here. Sorry, let me just put someone on mute. Yes, so getting back.
So on the very first day, when I was a guest speaker out here, when I was called, I was shivering, just like I got an exam, I'm going to get an exam result, or it's going to be the end of the day. And then on, whenever I tried TT, I made it a point not to become the best speaker, but to enjoy myself when I'm speaking here. Today, at this point, when I'm speaking this TT, I'm happy about what I'm doing. And I do not know if I'm a good speaker or a bad speaker, but I'm a happy speaker. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Geeta.
So that was really beautiful, Toastmaster Abhirami. I really enjoyed the way you spoke. And it totally resonates with me. Like, not necessarily all speakers need to be good speakers. As long as they enjoy what they are doing, it's fine. That was really wonderful. I now move on to the next speaker. Is anybody willing to volunteer? Can we have Toastmaster Ashwini?
Yes, Toastmaster Geeta, I'm available.
Will you be able to take this topic?
Yes, let me give a try.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Just give me a second. Yeah. Is it possible, or shall I call you later?
Maybe you can call me later, Geeta. Toastmaster Geeta.
Yeah, maybe until then you can put your little one.
Yes. Thank you for understanding.
Yeah, is anybody willing to volunteer?
I'd like to give it a
Hi. Yes, Toastmaster Mugil. Welcome to the table topic session. So the topic for you is other people's opinion of you does not become your reality.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests, and thank you, Toastmaster Geeta, for that topic. Other people's opinion does not become your reality. This is something I learned the hard way. I've been someone I'm very cautious. I'm very cautious about what I say, what I do, and being very cautious tends to put me in a place where it used to put me in a place where I used to believe that everyone giving you an opinion or giving you a suggestion is coming from a truly understanding place, and they want you to be in a better place. And at some point in time, though that is true, it could be to several other reasons that may not apply to you. To give an example, something that may generally happen with us is as we're growing up, our parents would tend to be cautious about what we're doing, tend to be cautious about us, probably us staying out late or us venturing into another initiative. And they're coming from a good place. And but then at the same time, that doesn't mean that is what is needed for us at that point in time. And if we were to believe that others' opinions are the realities we must stick to, we'd never move out of our comfort zone. And it's important to keep that in mind while still being conscious, but also keeping in mind that your reality is yours, your truth is yours, and owning that will truly give you the right space to grow and explore. So thank you, Toastmaster.
Yeah, thank you so much, Toastmaster Mughal. That was also beautifully taken. So what Toastmaster Mughal is trying to tell us is you should not really bother about other people's opinion and do your best. Yes. We'll now move on to the next topic. I think by now Ashwini should be ready to take the topic. Are you available, Toastmaster Ashwini?
She'll be the last speaker. Yeah. Ma'am, she'll be the last speaker.
I think I still have time. Shall I still continue? For two to three more topics, I think we can do.
No, I think you make a list of the people who let her finish.
Yeah.
And then if you can make a list of the speakers and the topics so that people know whom they can vote for. So more than that, there'll be confusion with too many speakers. All right, so let Toastmaster Ashwini finish and then we'll get back to you. Yeah.
Yes, Toastmaster Ashwini. Are you available? Will you be able to take up this topic now?
I can very well take up the topic.
Oh, great.
Please, Toastmaster.
Yeah. So the topic for you is shoot for the moon. And if you miss it, you will still be among the stars. Shoot for the moon. And if you miss it, you will still be among the stars.
Shoot for the moon. And if you miss it, you will be still among the stars. Isn't it a famous quote that everyone has heard? In one point or the other in your life, you would have always thought, maybe this is very difficult for me. This is not for me. I can't do it. Maybe the other person who scored very well, my boss who does everything great, maybe he can try this unachievable task. That's what everybody will be thinking in their mind. But no, it's not true. No, when you put your own whole ability, your whole strength, your own mind and soul and energy into the thing you love to do and the work you want to do, you can always reach the moon or the sky, reach the moon in the sky or reach the stars in the sky, and you land in a better place than what you are in. So always try to shoot for the moon. Even if you miss the moon, you will land in the stars, and you should understand that it's a better place than what you were before. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Geeta, for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwini. That was really wonderful. So all that is important is we need to put the best of our efforts, and we will find ourselves in a much greater place, in a higher situation than we are now. So that was beautifully done. Thank you once again, Toastmaster Ashwini. And do we still have time for one or two more topics? Do we still have speakers?
No, Geeta ma'am, I'm sorry. What we can do is, can you list out the names of the topics and the speakers so that when we're voting, we know who spoke on which topic?
I have just randomly called them. I called Toastmaster Abhilash, Toastmaster.
Yeah, but what, topic.
The topics are also in the random order.
Probably your names would have captured it.
So all the names, I think Sergeant Task must have noted it down, the names.
I will have it.
Naveen has a list. Naveen has a list?
Yeah. I can give you the names.
Yeah, go ahead, Naveen. Toastmaster Naveen, please read the list and Geeta will help you. Yeah.
For Toastmaster Abhilash, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Toastmaster Vijay Aditya, mind can be make a heaven out of hell or hell out of heaven. Toastmaster Vishnu Kumar, knowledge is not a power, but applied knowledge is power. Guest Santoshni, easy is not an option. Guest Vasant Kumar, if you don't program yourself, life will program you.
Yeah, Naveen, yes. A little slower, please. A little slower. Little slower, please.
Yeah, ma'am.
Can you repeat slowly so that everyone knows which is the topic and which is the speaker, so that when they're voting, they know whom to vote for and what they spoke on?
Yeah,
yes.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Abhilash, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Toastmaster Vijay Aditya, mind can be make a heaven out of hell or hell out of heaven. Toastmaster Vishnu Kumar, knowledge is not a power, but applied knowledge is power. Guest Santoshni, easy is not an option. Guest Vasant Kumar, if you don't program yourself, life will program you. Guest Qadri Syed, is it important to do love what you do or what you love? Toastmaster Abhirami, all the great speakers were bad speakers at first. Toastmaster Ashwini, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss it, you will land among the stars. And for Toastmaster Mugil, I can't. Ma'am, can you suggest the topic for Toastmaster Mugil?
I think my topic was around the lines of, I don't remember the exact statement. It was along the lines of your reality is more important than
other people's opinion.
Yeah.
Other people's opinion of you does not become your reality.
Yes, Madam Geeta, go ahead. You want to wrap up?
So whatever you tell me now.
Yeah, so
we've had enough topics we've done.
Yeah, that's what.
So I think I should wrap up. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I really enjoyed conducting the sessions. Over to you, DTM Nina.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster Geeta, for that fabulous, very thought-provoking and interesting set of quotes, statements, ideas for table topics. I'm sure everyone would have had a lot of things to think about. For those of you who feel that table topics is something that is difficult, I don't know what to do, how do I deal with this? There's a very simple technique you can use. It's called pen and pencil. All right, take a notebook, take a pen or a pencil, write down the topics that you have for table topics every week. Go home and practice them. Take one topic, practice 3 different approaches. Take one topic, think of for and against, do other things, practice by yourself, practice in the bathroom mirror, practice with your spouse, children, family, dog, pet, carrot, or parrot, sorry, not carrot, all right, whoever you can think of. And that's how you build up your table topics ability. And look at and listen. I'm getting tongue twisted over here. Look at and listen to all those who spoke today. Maybe you have different ideas. Maybe you have a different perspective. Practice that on your own so that next time you're there. And the other big advantage of having this notebook and pencil and pen or whatever it is, you can use your mobile also or whatever you use for taking notes. Gather up all these things, and whenever table topics master is absent and someone says, can someone take over the table topics master's role? You're ready and available. So keep that set of table topics ready. It's always useful. So those are all the tips that I can give you as far as table topics is concerned. And with that, we're moving on to the next section of Toastmasters meetings, which is the evaluation segment. They say the feedback is the breakfast of champions. Today is going to be the tea or dinner of champions. Speakers come here to learn how to speak. And at the end of the day, every speaker wants to know, how did I do? Toastmasters believes in giving personalized, customized feedback that will help you grow as a speaker, from a nervous, scared speaker to an okay speaker to a great speaker. Whatever it is, it's entirely up to you. You have to be in control. So let me hand you over back to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Naveen Raj.
Yeah, thank you, DTM Nina John, ma'am. Yeah, please be. Thank you, Thank you, DTM Nina John, ma'am. As a part of, I will introduce my set of evaluation team right now. First, Toastmaster, to evaluate Toastmaster Srikanth Kuttikrishnan, I would like to call Toastmaster Abhilash. He is a chartered accountant by profession and working in a finance division of chemical manufacturing MNC, past VPE of Chennai Toastmasters Club and past Vice President membership of Chennai Toastmasters Club. Now he is currently doing President of Chennai Toastmasters Club. I would like to call Toastmaster Abhilash.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. I had hoped to not hear that introduction today. Anyway, sorry, I'm hearing a slight echo. Yeah, thank you. And a very warm good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. And a very warm good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan. Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan, let me say that I loved your message. Your message consisted of two messages. The first one was the way you look at things defines them. And the second message that you gave to us was, as you think, so shall you become. For your thoughts become your expressions and actions. I loved your message. Now, moving on, let me tell you what I liked about your speech. The first thing that you did was you quoted the sources from where you had taken these quotes. Not many people realize that, but quoting of sources is one thing which is actually required by Toastmasters. Wherever you take a particular set of quotes or a passage from any other person, Toastmasters always encourages that you give that particular quote and you acknowledge whoever is the original source. So kudos on that. Now, let me move on to where I felt you could improve. Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan, the first thing that I noted today was there was no proper structure in the speech. By saying this, what do I mean is, you see, information, there is a line of difference when information goes into our minds and when information becomes an overload. But today there was so much information, so much gyan, it became an overload today. Negative thoughts cancer the mind. Do not die with your dreams unfulfilled in you. You're the vessel through which you give back to the world. All of these are lovely sayings, but when put together, I felt that it has become an overload today. The second thing that I wanted to say is, Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan, you are an aspirational public speaker. But today, what I noted was your hand gesture were closed throughout. A public speaker, it is all the more essential that you open your hand gestures like this. But today, throughout your speech, I noted that your hand gestures were closed. So I would recommend that you slightly improve this particular thing. And the third recommendation that I have for you today is your vocal variety. Again, and as public speakers need a lot of vocal variety to convince people. So what do I say? When you said, what if my entire life has been wrong, is the thought you have on your deathbed. I felt that your voice could have modulated more to, make us feel the seriousness of the sentence which you told. What if my entire life has been a mistake? You should not have this thought on your deathbed. That could have been the kind of vocal variety that I felt you could have had. So to sum up, I loved your message. The way you see things defines them, and as you think, so shall you become. I loved that you quoted your sources properly. A recommendation, what I would say, you could inculcate stories to better, to better reach these messages inside to our minds. A little bit more hand gestures and vocal variety. And I need not say anything. So Toastmaster Shrikant Kuttikrishnan is a known public speaker in our club. These are my recommendations. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhilash. Now I would like to call Toastmaster Mujil to evaluate Toastmaster Taron. She is working as a senior scientific application analyst in Jinfo R&D Solutions. She is deeply interested in social cases, especially children's education and rural development. I would like to call Toastmaster Mujil. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Naveen. And good evening again, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially my target speaker, Toastmaster Taron. Or should I say the next in the runaway? To break up my evaluation, I would like to share what I liked in terms of structure and content, and what I liked in terms of delivery, and what I felt areas of improvement were in these two categories. So in terms of structure and content, I love how you started off with the question, which is a good strategy to get everyone's attention and make sure everyone is hooked to your speech. So until the very end, I was wondering why did you start with whether leadership is a skill? What are the skills? I was trying to make sense of the question you had asked, but you had beautifully wrapped it up towards the end, stating what are the skills you would like to learn when it comes to your leadership style. So you had wrapped that up well. The second aspect is of your structure that I liked was you briefed us about your journey of discovering your particular leadership style. And to cement your leadership style further, you had brief instances or stories that you had shared from your personal life. And that cemented the whole context of, yes, that is Toastmaster Tarun's leadership style. That being said, certain areas felt like there wasn't transition in certain areas felt a little patchy, and it felt that could have been smoother. And because of these patchy transitions, it was a little difficult at certain certain instances to follow the speech on the whole. So moving on to delivery, your hand gestures in the beginning, how you used your hands to state the number of factors, and your expression, and also your vocal variety, especially when you stressed tremendous, and you used a lot of stress at that point. Those were really good, and they were really good in the initial stages. What happened as you progressed as you progressed further is what I felt had happened was I felt that there was a slight pause in trying to probably think what is coming next, or those small pauses were there which broke up otherwise a continuous sentence or a continuous thought process. And towards the end, the use of hand gestures and vocal variety also slightly reduced. And one more thing, I would suggest you to look at the camera, because I think I couldn't feel the eye contact that was happening. On the whole, the structure is good. With a few improvements in delivery, it could be better. That's all. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mugil. Now, to evaluate Toastmaster Vignesh, I would like to call Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. He is a software engineer and he loves long drive and trekking. Our past VPPR and current VPM of Chennai Toastmasters Club. I would like to call Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. The stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Naveen. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests, and a very special mention to my target speaker, Toastmaster Vignesh. I want to applaud Vignesh for taking up such a topic to research and present, which is much needed for us in Toastmasters meeting, because you began your speech with a direct question to the audience, like, are we nervous to speak due to lack of vocabulary? The moment you said, are we nervous to speak, that made me listen to your speech more clearly, not as an evaluator, but as a general audience, because to learn the technique on how to get rid of the nervousness. And you didn't disappoint me. You gave a lot of information to it, because you've done a thorough research and organized your speech very well. You introduced the audience what you're going to talk about within a few seconds, and then you spoke about it and gave an excellent speech on this topic. As our TMOD DTM Nina mentioned, it's not just a well-researched speech. It was like a PhD thesis presentation within this specific time. I really want to appreciate you for that. And also I want to specifically appreciate you for standing and delivering the speech, because that is very important when you want to have an audience connect. That's where you will have, you show that you're putting an effort to convey some message, and audience are there, can understand that you're trying to say something to us. That is really appreciable. So having said all the good about these speeches, I want to give few points of improvement, and maybe it's a couple of points of improvement. The first one will be like, though you've done a thorough research and well prepared your speech, you are looking a little nervous throughout your speech. I can see that very well, because the speech is more on how to remove the nervousness, but you are looking a little nervous. Maybe you can reduce this by thoroughly rehearsing your speech before delivering. Much of practice is required. And also you could have added more expression to your speech. And secondly, as this research is very detailed, And there are a lot of strategies you mentioned. You could have added a slide with key points. The slides need not be with detailed information, the key points of whatever strategies mentioned, so that I can remember. As an audience, I was trying to listen to all the 5 points, and as you keep mentioning each points, each strategies, I was very keen on listening to it. So maybe it's my view, like it could have helped me to remember all those strategic points and then relate with whatever you have given. This is just a suggestion for me. And other than that, overall, I enjoyed your speech very well, and wishing you all the best, and hoping to have very best speech from you in future projects. Over to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Naveen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. Now it's the time to have the attack team report. I would like to call Toastmaster Raghu to submit your report.
Sure, Toastmaster Naveen. I'll just share my screen. Please tell me if you can see it.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, so we started the meeting with Toastmaster distinct Toastmaster Nina John. She took a time of 4 minutes 30 seconds. Then with the general evaluator being Toastmaster Naveen 2 minutes 25 seconds. Then me as a timer, I timed myself at 1 minute 20 seconds. Then Toastmaster Kartika, who was the idiom master, at 1 minute 22 seconds. Then came the quote master of the day, Toastmaster Ashwini with 1 minute 42 seconds. And Toastmaster Abhishek was the R counter, 1 minute 44 seconds. And the grammarian being Toastmaster Abhirami with the timing of 2 minutes 57 seconds. Then coming to prepared speakers list, first speaker was Toastmaster Shrikant, who spoke for around 7 minutes 17 seconds, and he was qualified. Then comes Toastmaster Taron, who was the second speaker. He was he spoke for a timing of 7 minutes 52 seconds. Then came Toastmaster Vignesh, who spoke for a timing of 5 minutes 20 seconds. Coming to table topics, Toastmaster Geeta, who's a table topic master, spoke for 1 minute 5 seconds as an intro. Then came Toastmaster Abhilash, who was the first speaker at 1 minute 52 seconds. Then came Toastmaster Vijay, who spoke with a timing of 1 minute 32 seconds. Toastmaster Vishnu with a timing of 1 minute 40 seconds. Then came the guest Santoshi at 1 minute 29 seconds. Then guest Vasant at 38 seconds. And then guest Kazi, who went about a time limit of 2 minutes 30. He spoke for 2 minutes 58 seconds. Then came Toastmaster Abhirami with a timing of 1 minute 30 seconds, and then Toastmaster Mugil with 1 minute 57 seconds. And the last table topic speaker was Toastmaster Ashwini, who spoke with a timing of 1 minute 2 seconds. Finally, the evaluators. First was Toastmaster Abhilash with the timing of 3 minutes 12 seconds. The second one was Toastmaster Mugil with the timing of 3 minutes 7 seconds, and finally Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan with the timing of 2 minutes 42 seconds. Yes, back to you, Toastmaster Naveen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu, for the report. I would like to call Toastmaster Abhishek to submit the counter report.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Now I'm sharing my screen to my report. I hope this report will help us all in understanding speech patterns and public speaking. These are the number of observations I had made. The table topic master today, Geeta, Toastmaster Geeta, the word "are" has been used 3+ times, which is understandable. I'm not saying that this. Is this the report? I hope this will help us get better. Thank you, Naveen. Toastmaster Naveen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek, for the counters report. Now I would like to call Toastmaster Abhirami to submit her grammarian report.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Naveen. So before I just start with the report, today our Toastmaster Vignesh spoke about vocabulary and IQ. And I definitely agree with that. A very strong vocabulary is going to have impact on your IQ. Now, talking about the vocabulary part, it's going to have a good impact in becoming a good communicator and also a strong influencer. And today, being the grammarian, I realized how much of vocabulary that I learned being a part of the meeting. Now, sharing the report. First, let me talk about the people who had used the word of the day. We have 4 Toastmasters who used the word of the day: Distinguished Toastmaster Nina John, Toastmaster Ashwini, Toastmaster Tarun, and Toastmaster Vignesh. Congratulations to all of you. Talking about the good usages, of course, our distinguished Toastmaster Nina John had a lot of words, and I managed to pick a few of them considering the time limit that I have. So edutainment, which is educational entertainment, that's very innovative. And elevator pitch is something, a pitch that you quickly make in the gap that, you know, the elevator moves from one floor to another. So this is another word. And there were also some alliterations today. So alliterations are where you have 2 words and the first letter in the word is same for both the words. For example, it's rotating, responsibilities, tongue twisted. So all these are very catchy. So when someone uses this, you just want to listen more of what they say. And there were certain other words like shrink wrapped. And I like this particular line where she said, feedback is a breakfast for champions. Now, talking about the next speaker, our timer Toastmaster Rahul, he had a quote. He beautifully started with a quote by Tony Robinson. It had a lot of meaning, and I failed to capture the full quote. Moving on to the next person, Toastmaster Ashwini. She beautifully connected a quote into this word, which says this line, in Toastmaster, we learn to lead. And I like that. Moving on to the prepared speakers, our Toastmaster Shrikant had a lot of quotes in his speech, very meaningful quotes like, as you think, so shall you become. Manifestation originates from your mind. Don't die with the music still in you. And then our speaker 2, Toastmaster Tarun, he used the words, the sentence, skills with many skills buried in it, and used the word tremendous. Toastmaster Vignesh used the words fiasco, which means unsuccessfully went. He used the word rememberable, which is capable of being remembered. And he also used alliteration, sounding smart. Now, quickly onto the table topic. Toastmaster Geeta used the word sentence program yourself, which is more like prep yourself. Toastmaster Abhilash used the word panicky. Toastmaster Vijay used the word perceive. Perceive is the way you perceive something, or understand something, or infer something. Guest Santoshi's used the sentence pushing out of your comfort zone. And our guest Kadiri used the word monotonous. And Toastmaster Mughal used the word cautious, which is taking care to avoid danger. And then in the evaluation section, we had Toastmaster Abhilash, again using an alliteration, which is vocal variety. And Mughal finished up saying, instead of saying finishing the speech, she used the word wrapping up the speech. And on the transitions, scratchy transitions, which means rather not very smooth. Now, in the areas of improvement, there were very few points. So someone used a group of speeches. So rather than group of speeches, you could rather say a set of speeches, because group is something more associated to people. And on saying conclude on a person, you don't conclude on a person, you judge a person. Instead of saying conclude on me, you can say judge me. And the way the setup of a sentence, you can say the way you frame a sentence. And rather than using every people, you can use every person or all people. So that's with my report. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Abhirami, for the elaborated report. Now it's the time for my report. Meeting started on time. The presiding officer recognized the presence of mentor pool chair and very well, and greeted the guests as well as, and where all the prepared speeches are prepared in very well manner and a constructive manner. And especially table topics were especially really nice, and the topics were good among the guests. For each of the guests, the topic were minimized to understandable and usable topic. Kudos for that. And that's it. Over to you, Toast DTM Nina John.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Naveen Raj. We have our polls that are coming up. So those of you who feel that, who would like to vote for the speakers, please go ahead and vote. So we have a disqualification in terms of time, is it? Only. Okay. So, thank you. So while the other votes come in, and let me have a little thing about what we were saying. Those of you who join Toastmasters, the first thing you ask is, what's in it for me? And I want you to continue asking that question, because the only way you ask that, when you answer that question, will you start working. Your mind has to be, what can I do? What can I improve on? And how can things get better? So first of all, attend meetings. The most underestimated skill of public speaking is that of listening. Listen to the speakers, listen to all that people say, and learn how to speak better. That's what you really need. Once you do that, you will understand how you can improve and how things can be done. Toastmasters also teaches you the art of evaluation. Evaluation is more than just listening. It's a question of analyzing the speech, analyzing the objective, assessing the speaker, assessing their level of competence, and giving constructive feedback that will help them do much, much better in the future. So remember, whatever evaluations we have in Toastmasters are for your benefit. And let me give you this anecdote of Aditya Maheshwaran, who's been our international champion. When he finished his CC10, of course, there was much applause and all the rest of it, but he said, I am not satisfied with my speech. It was not what the evaluator said, but it was that internal benchmark which said, I have not done my best. And he repeated that speech. So remember, if your speech is not up to the mark, CTM does not ask you to repeat. Toastmasters does not fail you in any way, but unless you ensure that you are living up to your principle of doing the best thing you possibly can, learning the best possible practices, and practicing what you have heard, you will not feel bad about repeating a speech. Speak to your evaluator, speak to your mentor, get inputs, and then do the speech again if required. Also, one thing I'd like you to remember is that pathways is not just a question of ticking off speeches. It's a question of your journey in Toastmasters and how are you doing it and how are things going. So keep that in mind. Use your pathways as your experience, use it as part of your office work, use it as part of your personal work. See which of the electives you can do at the club, at the office, or outside, and see how you can improve. So in many different ways, you will find that unless you do all of these things, you will not improve. So think of all the different sections in Toastmasters and see how they will help you. Prepared speeches in Toastmasters are the way you have to deliver, for example, at an office meeting, at a client meeting, anywhere else. How are you doing it? Do you have an objective? Are you doing it the way you should be doing it, to the right level of competency? And more than competency, are you excelling at what you are doing? Toastmasters table topics help you, as I said, to think on your feet and do whatever is required. When required. And evaluations, as I already mentioned, learning to assess, analyze, and give positive feedback that will help whoever you're talking to do better. So today we've had a feast of speeches. We've had life lessons and individual style of leadership, all of which will help you sound smart in the future. We've had table topics that cover a range from that covered the range from what is your, whether happiness is the convergence of mind, deed, and action, whether your mind is the one that creates hell or heaven, what is the difference between knowledge and applied knowledge? Do you program your life or does life program you? Or do you want to take the easy option? Do you want to do what you love or do you want to love what you do? Are you a born bad speaker or are you a born great speaker? Are you born a speaker? What do you do if you want to shoot for the stars? And how do you do things on yourself, by yourself, without worrying about others' opinions? So with all of these together, I think we have had a great set of events for Toastmasters meeting today. I hope everyone has enjoyed the meeting. I hope you've had the elements of both education and entertainment, and that you'll go back thinking about both the jokes and the learnings from Chennai Toastmasters. And with that, I will hand you over back to our presiding officer, Madam Toastmaster Abhirami.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Nina John. That is yet another scintillating meeting. Had a great meeting today, great role players, amazing session. Congratulations to everyone over here. Now, let's go for the guest feedback. Let's go for the guest feedback before we announce the results. So let me call upon guest Dinesh. We want to hear from you how you felt about this meeting and how you know about CTM. Dinesh, are you available? Yeah, Dinesh, please unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yes, you're audible now.
Yes, ma'am. This is the first time I'm meeting.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. I'm a true lab in this place.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, guest Dinesh. Guest Santoshi, would you like to say a few words?
Hi. Hi. This is my first Toastmaster. I wanted this club, to be honest, through a Google search. So I wanted to improve my communication skills. So I typed Toastmasters and Toastmasters International came up. I went to Toastmasters International and then I saw Chennai came up. Then I got this particular site. I went to Instagram because that's where you find the information right now. So there are a lot of different clubs came and I wanted to get actually a real life experience. This was Egmore was there. So through that, I got this number and I immediately called up. So that happened in the morning and evening I attended the call. It was a very nice experience. I got to know the general flow and I understood that, this is a safe space where you can grow and even if you make mistakes, no one is going to judge you based on that. It's a nice experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Santoshi. It was great hearing you on the table topics as well. You sounded like a very seasoned speaker. Would love to hear more from you. Next, can we have guest Vasant Kumar?
Yeah, hi, this is Vasant. I'm really happy to have joined the meeting today. During the table topic, I was a little nervous. I wasn't able to accomplish what I really wanted to do. But given the way this meeting has progressed and now it is down to a point of getting concluded, you all have influenced me on a very positive way to join in your club. And I even got a couple of takeaways from this meeting. One is, we cannot think on a deathbed about what we have done during the whole life. And it should not be a tale to be told that is not going to create any positivity. And then, we have to live each day as if it were our last day. This is one of the famous quotes that I always love the most, quoted by Steve Jobs. So, one person was talking about thinking on deathbed about what we have done, what we haven't done. Another one was talking about leadership. So both the topics I can relate it to Steve Jobs. So I found it very fruitful and interesting. So I look forward to joining the club.
Thank you, Vasant. Thank you, guest Vasant. That's really good to hear that CTM has become an influencer for you in today's evening. And it was great the way you use the word of the day. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now we would like to hear from guest Joseph.
Hello.
Yes. Joseph, can you be a little more audible? You're slightly feeble.
Okay, give me a minute. Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, clear. Yes, Joseph, go ahead.
Yes. So this is the second meeting I've attended now, and the appeal for Toastmasters is starting to dawn on me how beneficial it could be to actually join. I think I'll probably be registering within a week or two. So looking forward to it.
That's nice to hear. Welcome to CTM. Next, can we hear from guest Rose?
Yeah, hi. So I think the meeting was overall very good. And this is probably my second or third meeting that I'm joining as a guest. So it was very, there were a lot of quotes that I could actually grab and probably use in my day-to-day life too. So it was overall very nice. So thank you for having me as a guest.
Thank you, guest Rose. It was very nice to hear. Now, with all our guest introductions and feedback, now it's time to announce the results. But before announcing, let me quickly appreciate and congratulate all the first-time role players for today. We had our Idiom Master, Toastmaster Karthika, who did the role for the first time. We have Toastmaster Mugil, who did our Evaluator role for the first time. And Toastmaster Abhishek, our counter role. Congratulations, all three of you. It never did look like a first time. You all look like very seasoned role players. Now, moving on to the result. The best speaker, we all know a very seasoned speaker, experienced speaker who just influenced our guest Vasant. It's none other than Toastmaster Shrikant. Congratulations, Toastmaster Shrikant. A big round of applause. Please unmute and applaud. And then our best evaluator. Of course, the person who evaluated the best speaker, our president of the club, Toastmaster Abhilash, is the best evaluator for today. And the best idiom or quote, our quote master, super mom, Toastmaster Ashwini is the best quote master. And of course, the best role player for today, the scintillating Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Nina John is the best role player for today. Congratulations, DTM Nina John. Best tag goes to myself. Thank you so much. And best TT, also myself. Thank you. And with this, let's finish this meeting and hand over to our President Toastmaster Abhilash for the election. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhilash.